This is Claire Reddington, the director of the studio, and I think she'll be able to explain in a little more detail about what it actually is. So.
Hey, my name is Claire Reddington. I run iShare with the Basic Media Studio, and I wanted to really find out about the interactive agencies, find out if there's any potential for getting people over to the studio and doing exchanges between Indian companies and companies in Bristol, and also generally just to eat a lot of curry.
So that's the enigmatic leader, and as she said, she's up for getting people to go over there and to, knowledge transfer and everything. So I'm going to pop back to my presentation. I'll show you a few more videos in a second. The dream, the studio. What's the dream of the studio? Well, essentially it's ideas, curiosity, and generosity. I wanted to explain a few of the key founding principles. It's a lot about collaboration, and I mean, I might be wrong, but something I feel about San Francisco maybe is that because it's a tech place and there are lots of very, very successful companies here, things seem a little more closed, because of the risk of IP being stolen, and that's a very real risk. But Bristol as a city has a real thriving creative community that all pass ideas around in the mix, and what we were talking about, can I play that game that Catherine designed? It's very much about, yeah, sure, I mean, the rules are up on, I'll email you the rules, and let's all play together. Bristol is a unique city in that sense, so this sense of collaboration and a thriving community is really core to what the studio is about. On the top right there, engaging the public, I think that's really important, and we talked about that in terms of pervasive games. How do we engage the public? And it's about getting out there, doing it for real, and working on the streets, and inviting classrooms into the studio to experience the toys we have there. So engagement is really important. Research and development goes on all the time at the studio. You can pop in and just play with some Arduino boards, play with some Lego. There is a facility there for personal research and development, but also collaboratively. And that's where this is quite important. Funding for bright minds. That's where I suppose me and sort of my colleagues, that's where we were first invited to join the community, because there was a pot of money that was available for people to explore ideas, and that's where we came up with the Happy Packages concept. Essentially, we were given £10,000 to go away and play with mobile phones, GPS technology, Bluetooth, that kind of thing. And the concept was, how do you deliver happiness to people as they're walking around the city? We played around with Bluetooth. It was really, really difficult to get that to work. Played around with GPS. And when we were doing this, the GPS device had to be Bluetooth connected to the phone, and then you could walk around. So you're still walking around with two bits of technology, and it was just really clunky. It's like, I can't be happy when I'm holding all this rubbish. So, I mean, the concept was there, and I think things like Foursquare and Layer are kind of doing that a little more efficiently now. Knowledge transfer is really important to the studio. That's partly why I'm here, but also back in the UK, that's a really important part of their remit, because the government have invested money in this studio. They want to make sure that the knowledge is shared. They want to make sure it's open. And so that's a key principle. And, events and expeditions is just to make reference to that video we saw of Claire. She was in India on a kind of a reconnaissance mission. But also, members of the studio regularly go to South by Southwest Festival and festivals in Singapore, just to spread the message, really. So that's kind of the dream. In practicality, in real life, it's difficult to manifest all of those at once, and we are very, very grateful for the contributions, not just financial, but of the wider community. There are people constantly throwing in ideas and creativity. I want to talk to you about who makes the studio what it is, and illustrate some of the work that we do. So this is by no means an exhaustive list, but Claire Reddington is the director. Phil Stenton is ex-Hewlett-Packard, and he was certainly the founding father of it. John Dovey on the right he's a professor at the University of the West of England. So Claire Remington's the networker, and Phil Stenton's the kind of the old tech dude. He's an awesome man. I really like him a lot. And John Dovey's the kind of academic side of things. And then here, Hazel, Duncan, and Luke are 3 examples of just crazy, creative people that are doing wonderful work. So I'm going to show you some stuff that they've done. Taran, he only has one name. He's called Taran. That's it. That's his name. And he's this beardy guy, and he just solders and plays and sticks and glues and makes. You know, he attaches SIM cards to Arduino boards and makes them control spiders that come up and down. So whenever you go into the studio, you don't know what's going to happen. So I would say these people are kind of key people in the studio. I wanted to show you some of their work. Mobile Pi, they started along with thoughtden as family residents. They've gone on to form a very successful mobile business. They develop entertainment for mobile. Slingshot is the new name for Simon Games. Simon and Simon are the founders of Big Fest, and Catherine's the friends of Simon. Calvium is a company that was set up from the bones of, from the ashes rather, the phoenix that rose from the ashes of Hewlett-Packard's research lab. And they have taken the Enscapes software, which is, I won't go into, but that's a sort of an early form of augmented reality gaming, I suppose, and learning. They've taken that and they're building a toolkit so that people can design their own locative experiences using their toolkit. And then Anti-VJ are just some crazy French guys that do projections. They're absolutely super talented, so I'm going to show you some videos of some stuff that we've been doing there. So this is Anti-VJ. This is a building in Brussels that they're projecting on. So what they've actually done here is created a 3D model of the building and then designed visuals that use that 3D model. So they've modeled every single brick and then projected it back onto the building. This next bit.
Oh, we have that here.
So that was a good few years ago now, and I still think it's absolutely stunning piece of work. So that's Anti-VJ, the crazy French projectionist, and we're working with them to do some work with Southern Comfort. They have got a whole wealth of work that will blow your mind, so do check out Anti-VJ. Slingshot, they design games, very, very entertaining, outdoor, pervasive street games, and thoughtden are involved with them as kind of commercial advisors. I guess they do all the crazy creative stuff, and we help them take that to commercial clients. So there are a couple of scrolling images of the bizarre games they've played. I think it would be best just to show you a video. This was last year, and it will give you an idea of maybe what pervasive games are.
2009 Fest, yeah. Got a great chance to see a very rare and splendid beast out of the world tonight. I had a dream. When I was alive, I had a dream.
those games. One of them with the moose running around. Basically, what we did was get Simon and Simon designed some technology which allowed us to track this moose. It wasn't just GPS, it was using mobile triangulation and stuff. So basically the moose, we dressed the guy up as a moose and dumped him 60 miles away from Bristol. And he had to walk into Bristol over the course of the weekend, and he had to text his location every now and then. Players could text in, and at that point they would get a map sent to their phone of where the moose was. And the game was to take a picture of the moose hunt. So essentially my experience as a user was just a text, get a map, find the moose. The first year we ran it, it didn't go that well. Not that many people interacted, but the BBC got a hold of it and they thought it was the most stunning thing they'd ever seen. It was bizarre and wacky. Now, the second year, it kind of became a victim of its own success, and about 20 miles out of Bristol, the moose was having lunch at a pub, and this massive blacked out 4x4 skidded into the car park, and the windows came down, and this guy took a picture and it just bombed out, and he was just like, oh. So the guy in the blacked out 4x4 won, but we don't know who he is because he didn't claim his prize. Another of the games in there that I wanted to talk about was Rainbow Rain. You saw the paint fight. That was amazing. Where there was a thing called Sneaks and Baggers. I don't think I'll be able to find it. The Sneaks and Baggers is a mixture of Pac-Man, which people are familiar with, I hope, and Snakes and Ladders, which is an old traditional board game. So what we did is we took a giant multi-story car park, and the rules are that you can only go down the ramps that the cars go down and up the stairs that the people go up. So the challenge is to run around the car park, abiding by those rules, collecting coloured bits of card. But there are, of course, bad guys, and they wear bells on their ankles, and they can only walk. So you can hear them wherever they are, they can only walk. But all they need to do is see you, and then you lose all your coloured bits of cards. So hence Sneaks and Blaggers. So you have to hide behind cars. It was amazing. The first time we played it, we didn't tell anyone. We didn't get permission from the council or anything. We just descended on this car park. There was about 60 of us. And we were all sneaking around the car park, and people were in their cars going like, what the fuck is going on? So there was a real magic to that experience, because the people, the incidental observers, were like, what's going on? But also as players, we were like reimagining the landscape, and we were using minimal technology. We were using bells on people's feet and coloured cards to have a really magical experience. For 2009, our job was to try and sell sponsorship at the festival to fund it, because it does cost a lot to make. So a clothing brand from the UK were like this close to signing the line.
I feel like I was moving sometimes. I liked it that it was subtle. That it walked about and you didn't know who was doing it, you didn't know who it was.
I thought it was great, it was amazing.
There were moments that made me cry, there were reasons